How did we get here? Really? I'm not asking how a convicted felon was elected president or how every elected member of Republican member of Congress steamrolled one of the most malevolent pieces of legislation in recent history, or how the evangelical church ended up making its bed with a political party through disastrous results for both entities. These things can be at least reasonably explained by a perfect storm of Christian nationalism, cult-like political tribalism, systemic racism, and the fierce pull of wealth and power. As unthinkable as our political reality seems, and as shocking as the legislative fallout appears, if we look at the history of this country, in many ways, they become less of a mystery and more a logical progression. This isn't what's keeping me up at night. I want to know how people around me lost the ability to care for the suffering of others, and worse, how that particular ability, I should say, became a character flaw. When and how, for tens of millions of people, did empathy move to one of the highest human aspirations, one prized by the greatest ethical, moral, and spiritual leaders on the planet has ever known, to a supposed defect to be ridiculed? How does a collective of people so lose the plot of humanity so thoroughly? Looking at my timeline, eavesdropping in my local coffee shops, replaying exchanges with family members and people in my social circle, the realization of just how fluent so many Americans have become in their cruelty has sucker punched me in ways no congressional vote or human rights rollback has. These aren't politicians putting on a persona to curry votes, or opportunistic clergymen looking to fill their pews and coffers. I'm talking about ordinary, supposedly decent, faithful, rational people who simply don't care about human beings. I'm grieving so many people I once loved, or at the very least respected, who seem to be invaded by some parasites for whom the pain in their path is something to be celebrated. This is outside the realm of politics and the reach of their religion. It's one thing to believe that our border needs to be more secure, and an entirely different thing to post posturing, taunting memes about immigrants dying of heat stroke and being fed to alligators. What brings on that kind of heart mutilation? There is a massive moral leap from not supporting the members of the LGBTQ on some theological grounds to publicly advocating for the eradication. How exactly does a soul justify such ugliness? I can't count how many times I scroll past a lifelong friend's social media page, or walk away from neighborhood block party, or finish reading a relative's text and I thought, I remember you used to care about people. I don't know how to reach these people anymore, because the ways I've always believed to work, to bridge the gaps, are proving ineffective. And that's the most bitter pill to swallow right now. To realize I can't appeal to these people's compassion as a way of awakening them to the suffering around them, because that well seems to have permanently dried up. And the irony of all this is that these are the men, the people, who most test the empathy in me. I'm finding it more and more difficult to keep my heart from being hardened towards them. Lately, I'm not as worried that we won't eventually course correct our way out of this newly arrived fascism, or the pendulum of power won't swing to a less predatory group of lawmakers. But I'm worried about being able to reach the humanity of people who have grown to believe that this humanity makes them weak. I'm beginning to wonder, what if this is too far a section of our nation has become? People who just haven't lost empathy, but now have complete contempt for it. I always believed that most people want good things for other human beings, and to be proven wrong so often is deflating. As for me, I refuse to let the cruelty of the crowds drain the compassion from me. Empathy is still the bare path, even if so many continue to walk away from it. CTP, no truth, God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.